Hey folks, this is Nate coming at you on Friday the 13th in October. I know it's been a while since I've put up a demo video. This one has been in the works for at least a week or two, but I finally got it to where I feel comfortable showing it to you all. So tonight I want to go through my Ahsoka Series config V2. So this is going to include some production sound fonts that were produced out of the series from JuanSith and from Kyberphonic. So I'm going to be hopping in between each of the two. So for a lot of these presets, there are going to be two versions of a lot of these presets. And then there are a couple of separate sound fonts in here too. So for instance, one of the Marok sound fonts, I used the Riva sound font from Mountain Sabers, and then the second version of it I'm using is the Werewolf sound font from Kyberphonic, for example. So a lot of these main blades I've been working on trying to get somewhat screen accurate as best I can. The most challenging one by far was the Mother Talzin blade. That probably was the one that took the longest time for me to, in fact, I had most of the config already done, and I was really just tweaking around with the Mother Talzin blade, trying to get the colors just right. I think I've got it about as close as I can get it, so we'll see how it looks. All right, so first one is Ahsoka from JuanSith.
Ahsoka.
Our classic silver blade here. Now her effects are going to look a little different from this series than they did from the Mando series. So we kept some really nice consistency on that hum from the way it originally sounded in the Mando series when we first got to see her in live action. But I really like a lot of those adjustments that he made to match the current series. So really nicely done. So this second one is the first Marok Inquisitor preset. And this sound font is from Mountain Sabers. This is the Riva sound font from Mountain Sabers. Of all of the older Inquisitor sound fonts, this is the one that sounded closest. And so I put this one together long before a lot of these other ones got produced. In fact, most of the other Inquisitor sound fonts were from the animated series, and this was one of the few that I could find that was from a live action. So this is a red audio flicker. scope. I forget which. And I'm putting a bright swing on this one. And then this is the Maroc sound font from Kyberphonic. This is Werewolf. So you can see they sound a little similar. This one is definitely more live action, series accurate.
Lady Red.
And then this next one is the first Sabine Wren, and this is the Sabine from JuanSith. Got a surging pulse green. This is a sped up, sort of customized surging pulse. Give it a little bit of that, horizontal flicker.
I can't use the Force. I can't use the Force.
It's a great tip drag sound on this one. Now on the blasts, these blasts are a little bit different than the ones I normally use. What I did was I took sort of an orangish red base layer, and then I'm using, and then it's just a responsive blast bulb instead of a wave, and I'm using two colors. Two separate color layers inside that blast bulb. I'm using like a gold and then a lighter, like a light yellow, almost a lemon.
Sabine Wren.
And this is Spectre 5 Sabine from Kyberphonic. Again, some similarities in the hum. This one's the hum, and this one is a little more subdued, which I like that variant. He's also got some of that blast armor tink sound at the end of these blaster blocks. Right there. Which I thought was pretty cool. Now the effects on these blade styles I'm doing are the same between the two, but the main blade is different. The first one was sort of a surging pulse on the screen, and this one I'm using as it's a 3-layer brown noise flicker. So it's doing a green at like a brown noise green at 100%, and then at 75, and then I think at either 33 or 50%. Okay, and this is the Shinhati from JuanSith. This is my custom blood orange, and this is another fast custom surging pulse blade style. So you can see it's got a little bit of a pulse shift there. Really beautiful growl on these swings. And then I'm using my customized blast waves on these. My live action, the little gives it that spatter. This thing just growls. I love it.
Shinhati.
And this is Moonhati from Kyberphonic. And this is a 3-layer audio flicker using the same custom blood orange. And my base custom blood orange that I did for both Balin and Shin is something along the lines of it's 255 in the red channel, and then 28 in the green channel, and 0 in the blue channel. So it's basically, if you take your standard proffie orange red and then you jump the green channel by 2, that's basically where I'm at with this. So it's 255, 28, 0. And then, of course, when I do these multicolored layers, like, you know, a 3-layer audio flicker, I ratio them down appropriately at, like, you know, 100%, 75%, 50%, something like that.
Release up. Shin.
Balin.
And this is Balin from JuanSith. Now with Balin's base blade, I'm using the same custom blood orange, but with his base blade I ratioed it down by a half. Mostly because most of the scenes where he's fighting were just a tad bit darker in the background, and so I wanted less glare off his blade. So Balin's blade I use is a 128/14. It's also why the effects may show up just a tad bit brighter on his blade, because his main blade's a little darker than Shin's. And then the lockup colors I'm using are a combination of gold and like a corn silk, almost off-white, and gold.
Skull.
And then this is Sun Skull from Kyberphonic. And with his, I'm using, with this second one, I'm using, I believe this is a single color static blade I'm using. But I'm also using a bright swing on this one.
That's my picture.
Okay, and then this first Ezra, this is JuanSith's Ezra Bridger. This is sort of King and Jarrus's reconstituted blade. And then for this one, I'm using, this is not a standard blue. What I'm using is sort of like my custom, what I call my Graflex blue, which is 055 255. So it's got using 55 in the green channel.
Looks like you were a good student.
May the fourth be with you.
He says it's gonna slow us down a bit. Nice moves.
Ezra?
And this is Nomad from Kyberphonic, and this is his Ezra Bridger font. I like the softness of the swings on this one.
Step into the mist and become like shadow.
Alright, and this is the last one on my config, and this is Elsbeth's Talisman Sword. So this is a very, very low, dark green and black, sort of a flame blade with a bright swing on it. Now, originally when I was putting this together, I put the swing on the force effect, but that didn't really seem to fit too well, so I basically just put it on the main blade and then made the main blade as dark as I could without going completely black. And then I'm using a modified version of FET263's Ripple Blast Fade from his OS6 library. I really like that blast style. And then I just made a little bit of modifications to it to get to where I liked it on this particular blade. And then this does have a little bit of a style fire on the Preon. So originally some of the things that I was testing out with this one is I was testing out like a black blade with green rain dents, and then along with that fire swing on top. And then I was trying to also test out sort of like one of Fett's older smoke blade variants, where I just completely heavily pulled that one apart and tried putting it back together to sort of customize it to get the effect I wanted. But I couldn't really, it didn't really work that well, because that particular blade style, when I was trying to make parts of it too dark, like too black or too green, it got really splotchy on the blade, so it sort of just looked weird. So I finally just settled on using a style fire for the main blade, and then just dimmed it down quite a bit. In fact, I may actually dim down this a little bit more, because I want to try and get some spots of black on this, or at least more spots of black than there already are, and then let that swing sort of stand out a little bit more. But I kind of like where it is now. I also know that for those of you on his Patreon account, he did do an early release of a Taliesin style that he is working on, that looks pretty cool, sort of like a reverse flame blade. So I'm anxious to see how that looks, and I'll definitely be pulling that one out and playing with that when that comes available. So so those are my V2 Ahsoka Series Bladstyles that I've put together. The one I did not put together was the Vergent Scatter, the Anakin stuff, and I kind of specifically left that alone, because probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do a different config set of Anakin sort of through the years, and I'm going to include like his backstory training stuff from the Kenobi series, and then I'm also going to include the World Between Worlds scenes with Ahsoka as well. So I'm probably going to cover some of the Anakin stuff like separately, but for now I'm sort of happy the way this config turned out. As always, I will leave these styles for proffie in my paste bin for anybody that would like them. And I hope you all enjoyed the Ahsoka series as much as I did. I thought it was fantastic. And I can't wait for either the series season 2 or the follow-on movie, whichever is coming. I don't know. But whatever is coming, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks y'all for watching. May the Force be with you. I'll see you on the next one.